you made a comment about how you was one of the few rappers that never sold their soul. What made you say that?
Because I know majority of these rappers. Yeah. I know what be going on behind the scenes. I know who not really in control.
Yeah, it's like, man, who is the new street rapper that we could sign that's gonna impact the masses in their city, and we gonna blow them up, and they young, so they don't realize that they being used right now, you heard me? They don't realize it. We gonna make them rich, and we gonna get one from every major city, because that way we can make sure that they give birth to a whole bunch of mini-me's that's looking up to them.
You know, a lot of times people be blinded by what they see in these videos and on TV, but I just know, I know what I know, man. You know what I mean?
You've heard the whispers in barbershops, seen the unexplained career explosions, watched artists suddenly change overnight. But what if someone who actually lived through it finally broke the silence? Lil Flip, the Houston legend who made millions independently before major labels, just revealed something shocking. Majority of these rappers have sold their souls, and what they wanted him to do will blow your mind. They literally tried to send people to his house for spiritual cleansing. But that's nothing compared to what other artists are revealing about industry gatekeepers and the real price of mainstream success. Something sinister is happening in the music industry, and most fans have no idea. While you've been distracted by flashy music videos and celebrity drama, a Houston legend just exposed the most shocking truth about modern rap.
Be going on behind the scenes. I know who not really in control. You know what I mean? I know the real. You know, a lot of times people be blinded by what they see in these videos and on TV, but I just know, I know what I know, man. You know what I mean? It's a lot of people that ain't being righteous, and they ain't keeping it infinity, because keeping it 100 ain't enough. That's a limit. With me, you gotta keep it infinity. So it's just a lot of people, man, that's just, you know, selling their soul and selling themselves short and distracted with the wrong things. So, you know, it is what it is, man. This industry is a very evil industry, you know what I mean? Like, it's very evil, man. So you gotta really surround yourself with people that think like you or bigger than you. So it's a nice amount of, I ain't gonna even say nice, it's a lot of rappers that sold their soul, and, you know, they let money dictate everything they do. They value money more than they value humans. I ain't participating in no bullshit. If it ain't righteous, I don't want to be a part of it, man. I'm not gonna snake my people. Yeah, I ain't gonna snake my people, and yeah, I can't sell my people out, and I ain't gonna sell myself out. Fame ain't that important, man, for me to just do anything. It's cool. I'm used to the attention.
Lil Flip, the man who sold over 25 million albums without major label control, just revealed something that'll make your blood run cold. According to this Houston icon, the vast majority of rappers you see on TV have made an unthinkable trade. They've sold something far more valuable than publishing rights or creative control, something that can't be bought back once it's gone. And the price they paid involved betraying everything they once stood for. But here's what really chills you to the bone. Flip knows these artists personally. He's witnessed the transformation firsthand, watched talented individuals become hollow shells of their former selves. The industry isn't just exploitative or corrupt, it's actively evil. And the artists caught in its web aren't victims anymore. They've become willing participants in something much darker. These aren't struggling artists making tough business decisions. These are people who've chosen money over humanity, fame over family, success over soul. While Flip refused to participate in anything unrighteous, countless others said yes to offers that would make your skin crawl. But who exactly is making these offers? And how do they choose their targets? The preds behind the system aren't random. They operate with military precision, studying potential victims like scientists examining lab rats.
Once you influence you, then you're an asset to them, right? So once you understand your value position, right? Like, you could be an independent guy, putting work in, and get to a point where you're good enough for them to purchase your soul, right? And when you see, there's no artist, let me be clear, there's no artist in this industry that's doing major numbers with these platforms that haven't sold their soul. And when you know what you're looking at and you know how to decipher, you will see it. And the people like the brother right here who has this merch and is doing it out the trunk and direct to consumer, you will never get to that $20 million club without going through certain doors.
So now I gotta ask this question.
So E40 didn't do it.
Hold on. Now I gotta ask this question. Do you guys believe that the rappers that are at the top sold their soul?
Yes.
Nope.
Somehow.
Yes.
They only approach artists after identifying raw talent and desperate circumstances. They watch struggling musicians for months, cataloging weaknesses, financial pressures, personal vulnerabilities.
Yes. Industry plans exist, yes. The music industry will conspire to say, what this artist represents is something that we need more of in America. So if it's extreme ignorance, if it's watered down blackness, if it's whiteness that represents being able to be cool and be accepted by black people, whatever it is, we want more of that. So we will do everything in our power to make this person pop off and be a star, to push this agenda. Or we have a vested interest financially in seeing this artist make it. Because not only do we have this artist signed to us, but we manage this artist, and we know that this artist is gonna create a whole generation of people just like them. Yeah, they definitely got industry plans. Yes, all of these black artists who ain't even old enough to understand the contract that they about to sign, and who are being signed just because they had one thing that went viral, that they glorifying a bunch of murder and a bunch of just negativity, and all of a sudden they about to get paid millions of dollars. Those are industry plants. The industry knows the impact that those artists will have on the rest of their community. They know it. And they're just like, oh man, we need that person to make it for sure. But if you are representing something positive or something righteous or something intellectual or godly, you absolutely have to do way more work to make the industry say, all right, we're gonna let them in. It's like, all right, we're gonna let a J. Cole in. We're gonna let a Kendrick Lamar in. But we got enough. We got enough of them. You know what I'm saying? We got enough of them. You realize that J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar are two of the richest rappers walking planet Earth today? Two of the most successful rappers? Why would the industry not want more J. Cole's and more Kendrick Lamar's?
Yeah, they don't even floss or anything, bro. You don't see them with jewelry, none of that.
Bro, J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar scare the industry, because if they let more of them in, you're gonna have a whole generation of people coming up who are black, who are saying, I ain't even gotta flaunt no jewelry, you heard me? I ain't even gotta flaunt fancy cars, and I can be intellectual, I can be woke, I can be a man of God.
Or rap about it.
Or rap about that stuff. And if you got a whole generation of black people that's coming up, that's like, man, there wasn't one J. Cole and one Kendrick Lamar. There were a ton of them, and they were all huge. Now keep in mind, a ton of people exist who are doing the same type of work that Cole and Kendrick are doing. And they're doing that work in their own way. I'm one of the people, you know? And there's a bunch of people that are doing that. But for the mainstream music industry, man, they don't want a bunch of that to exist, bro. Like, it doesn't make sense why you wouldn't want more of that.
The recruitment machine specifically targets desperate black artists with compromised moral foundations. Why? Because desperation makes people agreeable to unthinkable requests. Think about it logically. They never approached established, successful independent artists like Lil Flip. Why would they risk exposure by targeting someone already financially secure? Someone with existing creative freedom. Instead, they circle around broke artists, musicians drowning in debt, talented individuals who've been grinding for years without mainstream recognition. People whose pride has been systematically broken down by repeated rejection. The system deliberately creates desperation, then exploits it. But what exactly happens when these preds finally make their move? What they demand from respected artists will absolutely destroy your faith in the entertainment industry. What happened next will permanently change how you view the entertainment industry. Because when these gatekeepers finally made their move, the requests they made were beyond anything you could imagine.
No.
Have you ever been approached to do anything out of pocket?
I've been approached to have somebody come to my house and pray. And yeah, like, hey man, this guy, yeah, he's like he gets spirits out, and you know, he wants to come and pray. I'm like, nah, I'm cool. I want to continue to pray the way I've been praying. I don't know who he believe in and what he believe in, but he can't come in my house. So, yeah, peace. I kept God in what I got going on. I kept God. I keep God in what I got going on. I don't love money. I talk for myself. I come from a family that programmed me and trained me to be out in this world and out in the streets and knowing how to maneuver. So you can't lure me with no money or nothing like that. Like, meaning like, if I don't want to do the deal, I ain't gonna do the deal. The difference between me and a lot of artists is I started doing music for God. My grandmother played the piano. I was in the church. I sung in the choir. I played the drums, played the piano, sung in the choir for God, went to different churches and sung here and there, right? For God, doing music in the studios, making gospel music, making hip hop. But I started off doing music for God. So I'm not gonna let money dictate every move I make when it comes to music. It's a blessing for me to be able to create. The money is gonna come. So I just pride myself in treating people right, and relationships outlast money. So you treat people right and you move the correct way, you'll have longevity. So for any artist or anybody that's a hater or just a fan or whatever you are, if you feel like some of your favorite artists fell off, sometimes you gotta just go take a trip down there and link up with them and see how they living. Cause I can speak for the artists that's in Texas. We still getting money, we still working, we still touring. We not broadcasting everything we do.
Lil Flip reveals something absolutely chilling. Industry operatives literally tried to infiltrate his personal sanctuary. They wanted to send someone to his house under the guise of spiritual cleansing. But this wasn't legitimate religious guidance. This was something far more sinister. They wanted to perform what Flip describes as demonic rituals inside his own home. Imagine the audacity approaching a successful independent artist and suggesting he needs spiritual intervention from their chosen practitioners. But that's nothing compared to what happened to other artists. The demands get exponentially worse.
Depending on what part of the industry you're trying to get access to, there's gatekeepers. So if you're trying to get signed to a major label, there's gatekeepers. If you're trying to get on certain media platforms to get interviewed, there's gatekeepers. If you're trying to get on the mainstream radio, you heard me, urban radio, there's gatekeepers. Yes. On the totem pole of people with integrity and people with morals, values, and principles, these gatekeepers ain't nobody. But in this perverted, sick, twisted industry, these gatekeepers do hold access to certain levels, you know? Bro, I've had gatekeepers in the music industry who have literally tried to hold a record deal behind their back and let me know, like, look, if you're a part of this homosexual act that I'm trying to take part in, you hear me? Yeah, come on, this door open real quick for you. Like, I got a song where I've talked about that before called The Devil's Playground. Like, this is real, dog. And the only way that type of stuff can work on you is if you let them have all the leverage to where you want what's behind that gate that bad. So that's a real thing. You also got people who, this is a different type of gatekeeper. The gatekeepers who will say, hey, you making too much righteous noise right now. If you just tone that righteousness down a little bit, then we'll allow you into these doors. But you got to tone that down. You got to become a little more vanilla, you heard me? A little more lukewarm, a little more bland, and you'll fit in with us more. So that's the slick gatekeeping. It ain't telling you to all the way, you know, bend over or open your mouth or something like that. It ain't that, but it's telling you, like, dim your light. And what ends up happening is you got so many people that's like, well, that's not that bad. They not asking me to do nothing super crazy. I just got to dim my light. That's the scariest kind right there. Because a lot of people will be like, wait, I just got to turn it from level 10 to level 5? Man, bet. I could do that, bro. I bet. Now I get accepted? Cool. Next thing you know, you got a whole industry, brother, that's lukewarm. Whole industry lukewarm. So then when somebody that's on fire come along, they looking at it like, whoa, you crazy, hold on, you shining too bright, hold on.
D1, another conscious rapper, exposes the most disturbing recruitment tactic imaginable. Industry gatekeepers literally offered him record deals in exchange for participating in deprived acts. Not metaphorically, not symbolically. Actual physical compromise is payment for mainstream success. They dangle everything struggling artists dream about: major label contracts, radio play, mainstream recognition, behind acts that would destroy the artist's self-respect forever. The technique only works when artists desperately want what's being offered, when selfish ambition overrides moral boundaries, when fame becomes more important than dignity. But here's what makes this even more twisted. These aren't isolated incidents. This is systematic exploitation happening across the entire industry. Desperate artists getting targeted with increasingly degrading requests until someone finally breaks. Both Flip and D1 refuse these advances, but their stories raise a terrifying question. How many artists said yes? And what happens to those who refuse? The retaliation for refusing these demands is swift, systematic, and absolutely brutal. Because the industry doesn't just accept rejection, it punishes it.
When you said that 99% of the rappers in the industry is fake,
Yeah, when it comes to artists, yeah, but the people that I've encountered, see, I can't speak on the people that I haven't met. So when I said that, I'm speaking on 99% of the artists that I've met. They've done funny and said they was gonna do this and didn't do that, and then God will put them like right around me, like, you know what I mean? And instead of me being like bitter because somebody promised me, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this for you, I just be like, all right, I just put you in my book as a liar. You know what I mean? Because there's people that'll see you in public. I call it Hollywood talk. Hey, what's up, bro, man? I'm a fan of your music, man. We gotta do something, man. Here, take my number. Do you take their number? They don't answer. You know what I mean? They don't answer, but they might do an interview and be like, yeah, Flip, one of my favorite rappers. But then they don't answer their phone. And then when they see you again, it's like they seen a ghost. Hey man, take my number, man. I know we supposed to do something. It's cool. You offered the verse. I didn't ask you for the verse. You know what I mean? So it's cool, man. People promise you all kind of shit in this industry. You know what I'm saying? Like, and don't deliver. But I'm a solo artist. So I gotta depend on me. Everything everybody told me not to do worked for me. So whether a person keep their word about rapping or singing on the song, it's not gonna stop me from getting where I need to go. Cause I'm gonna go put the work in, and I put the work in already.
Yeah, you also mentioned that, you helped a lot of rappers, and once they got on, they went Hollywood on you.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's one that went super Hollywood, man. I'm like, damn, bro, you really changed like that, bro. But like I say, man, I was prepared for it, man. I don't be surprised by nothing I see no more in this shit. So I just take that shit, this face value, man. It is what it is, man.
Yeah, that money shows your true character, man.
Yep, and I'm gonna be the same whether I got it or I don't got it. It don't make me.
Real talk. How you feel about the people that say the Houston rap scene fell off? From your point of view, what happened?
I can't speak on what happened with anybody else's life. I kept doing music.
No, in general.
No, but
the Houston music scene.
No, but what I'm saying, I can't speak on what happened, meaning like I don't know what other people was doing in their life, or whether you want to say the momentum to slow down or whatever. Everybody got their own different situations. Some people left labels. Some people, did tech stuff. Everybody had different reasons for why they did what they did, but
Lil Flip reveals the devastating aftermath of maintaining integrity in a corrupt system. According to his firsthand experience, 99% of industry people are completely fake. They promise everything and deliver nothing, but it gets worse. These gatekeepers don't form organic relationships with artists. Every interaction is calculated. Every promise is conditional. Every opportunity comes with hidden strings attached. When artists refuse to compromise, the industry attempts complete professional elimination. No more radio play, no more major label interest, no more mainstream media coverage. They want you completely erased from public consciousness.
Twice a year, whatever. But if it's not $1 million budget being spent on marketing and radio and ads and posters and, you know, brainwashing you to know, hey, this album is out, here's a billboard over here, then it's gonna look like you're not doing nothing. But like I say, success is subjective, you know what I mean? So we still working, you know what I'm saying? Paul's still touring. I just did a show with him. He brought me out as a special guest. He got a deal with Paul, my son. He's liquor deals and shit like that. Chameleonaire doing the tech shit. You know, Slim still living great, you know, doing shows. Rose still living great. You know, I'm doing shows, making albums. Key got a podcast, Legend Talk, you know what I'm saying? He's still great, doing shows. Everybody elevating. Young Star, you know what I mean? I brought him out to Carbach on 713 Day. Like, we still out here working, holding it down, you know, for Big Pokey, for all the legends. So we just still working, man. It's just not millions of dollars being spent on marketing no more. We back independent. So, you know, we got our core fan base and they go book us and with us regardless. So.
But here's where the story gets interesting. Their plan isn't working. Artists they tried to destroy are actually thriving independently, making real money, building authentic fan bases, creating lasting careers without industry approval. The only difference? They're doing it without massive marketing budgets and mainstream promotion, but their music still resonates. Their message still reaches people. Their integrity still attracts loyal supporters. So while the industry promotes compromised artists with massive budgets, independent musicians are quietly building sustainable careers based on authentic connections, which raises the ultimate question. If success is possible without selling your soul, why do so many artists still choose the dark path? The truth is, artists who refuse to compromise have discovered something powerful, a path to genuine success that doesn't require selling their humanity.
I feel like I get the respect from the people who matters most to me. You know what I mean? It's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes with aligning yourself with certain people. And if this person is managing you, they'll get you these kind of looks and this will make you look like you're bigger than somebody else. You know what I mean? Because your manager is getting you these kind of looks. But at the end of the day, success is, you know, subjective. Nobody sees what happens with my life every day behind the scenes. Some people are brainwashed to, hey, if you ain't on the radio like you used to be or on TV like you used to be, you fell off. That's the average mind. But then people that understand and overstand and cloverstand business, they'll get what success means. Like, so for me, man, I'm always out and about, running into people, taking pictures with fans, signing autographs, people. I just left talking. What was the unit? The old Ramsey unit? Stringfellow, now is what they call it. We just left Stringfellow unit, talking to the prisoners. I performed. Shout out to Mike Prince, you know what I'm saying? Rapper Love Mob Ties, that's fam. So yeah, we just went to talk to the prisoners and man, we made their day. We performed, man. They still believe in God. Some of them performed. I seen some people that I knew that I ain't seen in 20 years. You know what I mean? So, and I got my respect from God. I got my respect from my family, respect from my hood, respect from my city and in the world. You know, I travel, man. I be everywhere, man. So for me, the respect that I get, long as it's coming from people that really respect me, that's really all I care about. The people that are brainwashed or they're sheep and they just follow trends, you know what I mean? You know, I ain't for everybody, you know what I'm saying? So who respect me, man, listen, that's where it matters the most. So I don't think about it outside of that.
I just think, me personally, your name should come up more. But, you know, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I chose not to indulge in the weirdo shit that's going on in this industry. So when you still believe in God, man, and you ain't compromising your morals, I'm not selling my soul for no fame. I ain't doing none of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep God in everything I do. Sometimes they try to make a path longer or harder for you, but I deal with the consumer. You know what I mean? So, and that I practice great customer service and they're very satisfied.
Lil Flip exposes the industry's biggest lie, that mainstream visibility equals success. While compromised artists chase television appearances and radio spins, authentic artists build something far more valuable: direct relationships with real fans. The secret? Bypassing gatekeepers entirely. Instead of begging industry executives for approval, independent artists deal directly with consumers. No middlemen, no corrupt handlers, no soul-crushing compromises. This approach requires something most modern artists lack: genuine loyalty to fans, real connection based on shared values rather than manufactured personas, authentic music that reflects actual experiences.
Been having the same number, man, since high school. Like, I'm still dealing with the promoters and talking to them, the artists, the people I done did songs with all over this world, man. I see them, you know, I give them copies of my book, I give them game, I mentor them, and then when I bump back into them, they be like, man, we read your book, we applied what you put in your book, and I'm booking shows now. So that's who I really care about, because a lot of people that's at the top, man, they don't care. They culture vultures. They don't care what's going on in the community like that. They just want their money. I care about my community. So that's why I make sure I'm out and about helping people, you know, looking out for people. I did a verse for a guy yesterday.
But here's what separates lasting artists from flash-in-the-pan celebrities: customer service and fan engagement. While industry plants develop inflated egos and lose connection with audiences, independent artists maintain humility and accessibility. The result: longevity, real careers built on sustainable foundations rather than temporary hype cycles. Artists who can tour for decades because their fans genuinely respect them as people. But if this alternative path works so well, why don't we hear more about these successful independent artists? The answer will expose the industry's most sinister secret. The industry deliberately suppresses positive artists while promoting destructive ones. This isn't accidental, it's calculated social engineering.
These dudes ain't never been to jail. You ain't got to worry about, oh, we might sign him and he might go to jail and we can't even put no music out. These dudes ain't never been in no shootouts or nothing like that. Why would the industry not want more of that? Think about it. Think about it.
You right, man. That's real talk, yo.
Come on, man. You mean to tell me you not a headache? And you still gonna make buku bread for us and for yourself and just like everything is all good? Like people entertained by you, they love you, da-da-da. You mean to tell me they wouldn't be like, man, we need more of that? But come on, bro. Come on, bro. Every year, they're like, yo, who is the new street rapper that need to get signed and get pushed out there? Not in one city, but in every major city. Every year, it's like, man, who is the new street rapper that we could sign that's gonna impact the masses in their city, and we gonna blow them up, and they young, so they don't realize that they being used right now, you heard me?
Think about which artists receive massive media promotion. Artists who glorify violence, musicians who degrade women, performers who promote substance culture and materialism. Meanwhile, conscious artists with positive messages get buried. This pattern reveals the industry's true agenda: social destruction disguised as entertainment. They want young people to consume toxic content that normalizes self-destructive behaviors. Artists who promote family values, spiritual growth, and community building threaten this agenda. So they create artificial scarcity around positive content, limited radio play, restricted streaming promotion, minimal media coverage. Meanwhile, artists who sold their souls get unlimited marketing budgets and constant platform amplification. The goal? Making audiences believe destructive content is normal, while positive messages seem rare or unrealistic. But the truth is, conscious artists exist everywhere. They're just being systematically silenced. This media manipulation ensures that soul selling remains profitable, while integrity appears financially impossible. The cycle continues because most people never see the alternative. So now, you know the truth that Lil Flip and D1 risked their careers to expose. The music industry isn't just corrupt, it's actively evil, targeting desperate artists with degrading proposals and systematically suppressing positive voices. But here's what you need to ask yourself. If 99% of industry people are fake, how many of your favorite artists actually sold their souls for the fame you're helping them maintain? And more importantly, knowing what you know now, will you keep supporting a system that rewards spiritual compromise while burying artists with real integrity? The choice is yours. But remember, every stream, every purchase, every view is a vote for the kind of industry you want to exist. Choose wisely. What do you think? Drop your thoughts below, and let's keep this conversation going. If you like this video, hit that subscribe button so that you never miss out on any new videos. And until then, fam, keep it real.